Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse 12 rose up for me, and I titled this one, The Great Sorrow. But I'm going to read a little bit of what Jeremiah writes. Jeremiah writes these laments as he watches the intense suffering of God's people and the utter devastation of Jerusalem and the temple. He does not question God's justice in sending this suffering. Instead, in the middle of the suffering, he celebrates God's faithfulness and unfailing love. As you read this book, think about what Jesus suffered to pay the penalty for your sins and rejoice in the incredible love of the God who offers your salvation. How about that? So that kind of summed it up for me, so I thought it was important to read. All right, the great sorrow. The chapter, verse 12 is it nothing to you, all who pass by? Look around and see. Is any suffering like my suffering that was inflicted on me, that the Lord brought me in the day of his fierce anger? My reveal. No sympathy for Jerusalem. They felt what many sufferers feel, that her sorrow was incomparable to others and incomprehensible to others. Few, if any, can relate to the depths of their sorrow. The devastation brought on this city has no parallel. Excessive abuse of God's mercies called for extreme punishment. Lamentation. I know that God is the only one who can comfort, much like my earthly father did before he passed away in 2004. We are taught to pour out our complaints, sorrows, and anguish to the God who, in whose presence we not only live, but also grieve. This is all we need for turning to God. So that right there, the pain and the suffering and the sorrow, who else do you turn to? That was my thing. You know, when I lost my wife back in 2018, I'm so glad I had that to turn to, because I don't want to know what it would have been like to turn to something else. Alcohol, drugs, not so great people, destructive life. I tell people that the destructive life would have been, not having anybody to turn to, going into the woods and never coming out, right? Ending it. And that would have been a shame, right? Leaving 2 kids to fend for themselves because of my selfishness and not having any foothold on my relationship with my eternal Father. Wow. Looking back on that, it could have been me, right? Wow. I'm so glad that, I found a lot of great things, but one thing I found was this ministry, right? Ennis Grip and Scotty and all the guys, Joey and Steve, and I can go name 100, right? That are part of this ministry. And I was on that island, like a lot of you guys. You need to get off the island. You need to get in a community. You need to have purpose. You need to be driven by other things other than chemicals or bad relationships or bad things that keep you down, because you only really have to be friends and have a relationship with Jesus. Incredibly important in your life for accountability. And get into the Bible. Get into some like-minded people. So that's my week. Great to be with you. Love doing my week, and I'll see everybody in a month. Pray for U.S. Open. I'm leaving in the morning, and man, there's going to be some amazing relationships that are going to be had on the hollow grounds of Pinehurst number 2. So I just know it. Lord already went before me. So guys, have a great week, and we'll see you next month.